We now talk about organizational culture. Culture is intangible, difficult to capture the essence of it or define it very precisely. There is a definition, but let's dispense with the definition and say that a culture is like the atmosphere inside the organization, the climate, not actually the humidity or heat and temperature and cold, but the psychological climate, the social climate, the sociological climate. It's how you feel inside the organization. It's how we do things around here. It's the style, it's the way things happen. It's the vibe that you get of the place. It's the energy in modern fashionable term. That is the modern fashionable term that you get of the place. So it's like the air that you breathe, and in a way. So now culture is complex, and culture varies from organization to organization. It can't be identical, and so there are mismatches when it happens that an employee is used to a certain culture, and when he leaves that organization and goes to another organization, maybe he doesn't like the culture, maybe it doesn't suit him, or sometimes he comes from a bad culture and he goes to a new culture and maybe he performs better there. He was failing earlier because of the cultural issues. The problems were with the culture, not with the employee per se, in a sense. And he came to a different culture which were more conducive to his performance, more suitable to his own personal mental makeup or whatever, and he could perform better. Or maybe somebody who could perform very well in a culture, in a different organizational culture, goes to another organization and their culture is so different that he is unable to perform effectively. I mean, we even like Indians staying in India and going abroad. Now, maybe an Indian does very well in the US, so it's like the US culture, perhaps. Sometimes somebody doesn't do well here and he moves abroad and does well. So, is it the cultural aspect, the way that country works, or whatever it is? So, that's an issue. And when two companies try to merge or join operations and all, they also have to look at cultural compatibility. You know, one company has a certain kind of a culture, the other company has a different kind of culture, and when they're trying to merge these two companies, there could be cultural mismatches and it could create lots of problems. So one has to really look at the alignment of the culture, or maybe keep them separate if the culture can't be aligned, because that would be dangerous. Culture is complex, so culture is also difficult to change. Should it be changed or not? Try to change, and even if you want to change it, it will take a lot of time. It's complex. One good thing about culture is that a good culture can give you a unique competitive advantage, a unique distinctive advantage in terms of competition. Like most things can be copied by your competition. The competitor can poach your employees, he can copy your products and maybe even your technology and do lots of things that you are doing. Have the same technology if possible, if it is not patented. Hire your employees at a higher salary, and do everything that you are trying to do. And product is same, employees are taken from the organization, so they can try to match you and try to outsmart you and outcompete you. But what they can't do is take away your culture. They can't just You can't just put it in a bottle and transfer it there. So even if they are able to poach your employees or take away your employees and are able to copy other things, they can't copy your culture. And sometimes that makes a huge difference and things don't work out for them. So competition may take your employees, may try to copy your products and all, but your employees do not perform as well as they were doing in your culture, in your organization. So despite taking your employees who are going to transfer all the knowledge and information and technology and all that and ways of doing things, they are still unable to work in that atmosphere or climate or whatever you call it. The same culture is somehow not available, and it's not possible to copy it or take it from one place and shift it to another place. Even if you transfer the employees, maybe it doesn't give the same feel, the same culture. So that is one good thing. Culture can't be copied, and if you have a good culture where things are working, and that's a good competitive advantage which can't be easily copied. So that's a very good thing about culture, because it is intangible. It is very difficult to really analyze it and copy it. It's something that, it's like air. I mean, you can analyze chemically, but this thing is very intangible. It's invisible as well as intangible. So one can't break it down into components and say we'll do everything and we will replicate the culture. So having a good culture confers upon you a strong competitive advantage. Now, there can be different kinds of culture. There is a very secretive culture, there is very orthodox or traditional culture, there is a lot of politics going on, there is a lot of secrecy, there is a lot of infighting, there is a lot of tension or stress, or there is a fun culture, and different kinds of ways of characterizing it. Now, somebody has proposed the concept of an ideal culture. It doesn't have to be ideal. That is one construct which seems to be a reasonably good culture to have. And let's take a look at it. That's called octapace culture. This is basically, octapace is OCTAP. A, P, A, C, and E. What does octapace mean, or does it stand for? Octa is 8 and paces are like steps or whatever. But O stands for openness. There is less of secrecy, or it's transparent. There is free discussion, there is freedom. You don't feel constrained and restricted and all that. There is a lot of open discussion. There is maybe transparency, less of hiding, less of secrecy, free discussion, free and frank and fair discussion. People are open, right? They are not closed or secretive and all that, and things are probably very transparent. There is confrontation. Now, confrontation here means facing problems, not hiding them somewhere or pushing them into a corner, or sweeping them under a rug or a carpet. You have problems, so don't ignore those problems, face them head on. So confronting problems, confrontation doesn't mean fighting or quarreling here. Confrontation means facing reality, facing facts, and facing problems. Not ignoring problems, or not sweeping things under a rug or a carpet, or hiding things. So that you deal with those things and you resolve those issues. Trust. There is a climate of trust. People trust each other. There is authenticity. That is being genuine, being sincere, being truthful, not lying and deception and all that. There is proactivity as opposed to being reactive. Reactive is when you react to a situation, stimulus versus response. Proactive is taking initiative, doing it first without being asked to do something. So when you are being proactive, you are initiating things. Reactive is there is something and you react to a situation. Somebody does something, so now you have to react to that. It's a reflex sort of a thing. Like a doctor can check your reflexes. He has a small hammer and pets it on your knee, and then you have that involuntary reflex. Now, something happens and you react to it is one thing, but you do things in advance, in anticipation, sometimes to prevent things or to predict and do things, or you initiate things. That is called being proactive as opposed to being reactive. So proactive is supposed to be good, because that means you are ahead of the curve. You are sometimes initiating things, you are anticipating things, and you are leading things, and you are pioneering things many times, and you are the first one to do it. You don't let a problem arise. You are prevention is better than cure, or you come out with new things, pioneer something, innovate something, do it first time without being asked to do it on your own. So that sort of proactivity, taking initiative. Then there is autonomy, freedom to operate. People have decision making, they are empowered, there is delegation, there is decision making ability. People at the various levels of the organization have got the decision making authority and responsibility. There is delegation and there is empowerment. Then there is collaboration. C for collaboration. Collaboration here means teamwork, basically working in a team, cooperating with people, which is a good thing. You can't do things yourself on your own, so you need teamwork. And we also talk of synergy. Team. I mean, these are, somebody has explained synergy. Maybe you can call it synchronized energy, or the whole is bigger than the sum of the parts. That is the definition. Like these are four fingers and a thumb, but this is a fist. Now the fist is not just four fingers and a thumb, it is something much more. So synergy is something like 2 plus 2 equal to, not equal to 4 but 5. So when people come together, it gives rise to something extra when they work in a synchronized manner. And it is not simply mechanically adding the individual parts, but when they join together in a synchronized manner, in a coordinated manner, it gives off synergy, and it is better than just simple mechanical adding or working in isolation. So teamwork and collaboration, that is a part of the culture here. And last is experimentation. Experimentation here means trying out new things, giving new things, innovating, experimenting, being open to new ideas, being open to new ways of things, new products, new ideas, suggestions, and all that. So you can try out various things, various projects, and something can click and work fantastically well. So Octapace is probably a good, maybe cultural construct to think of or keep in mind. Somebody has proposed this. I'm not saying that this is the only ideal culture and this is what everybody should have. Different companies have different requirements. Culture might also have to be adjusted. Sometimes you can't have all the elements. Sometimes, again, it depends upon the situation and the timing and the circumstances. But this was just as a template or as a benchmark or as a guideline kind of a thing. So maybe one can learn some, get some ideas about, or indicative. It is an indicative list kind of a thing, so on which one can further think and improve upon. Thank you.